Considered Opinion, Diversity, Tragedy, and the Schools by John Fry. As U.S. immigration has surged over the past quarter century, educators have been developing new responses to democratic diversity in the classroom. As immigration is central to the American experience, there are two forms of these responses. The first is called assimilation, which is the process by which a person or a group's language and or culture come to resemble those of another group. This allows for the traditional theme of the melting pot of the United States, where all cultures are blended into one. The second is called multiculturalism. Multiculturalism de-emphasizes the common American culture and teaches children to take pride in their racial, ethnic, and national origins. The history of immigration in the United States is one of assimilation. In the early 1900s, there was an influx of immigration, and the schools handled this by teaching or by introducing the concept of assimilation. In doing so, they taught English, they taught them to speak, read, and write English. Because many children served as translators for their parents, these skills were valuable to the entire family in negotiating with employers, shops, and the government. They taught them habits of good hygiene, how to speak correctly, how to behave in a group, how to meet deadlines, how to dress for different situations. They taught them about American history, which included the Constitution, the Revolutionary War, and the Civil War. This included a strong emphasis on the positive aspects of American culture. They taught them the American way of life. This includes the habits, ideals, values, and attitudes, such as the American spirit of individualism that made this country special. With the introduction of multiculturalism, in the 1960s and 70s, there was a downplay of assimilation. It was thought to be illegitimate and coercive imposition of the American ways on innocent and unwitting children, both foreign-born and non-white. With the rise of the Black nationalist and separatist movement, people such as Stokely Carmichael ran for African-American history, African-American heroes, and literature in the classroom. By the mid-1970s, just as immigration was increasing rapidly, the schools no longer focused on assimilating children into American society. Instead, they encouraged children to appreciate and maintain their ethnic and racial origins. But celebrating diversity comes with costs. What is taught in school will vary in response to the particular ethnic makeup of the school. As we teach according to ethnic origins, we lose some value. For example, what is taught in a primarily Hispanic school will not be taught in what is a primarily African American school. In this way, schools begin to lose a sense of their distinctive American culture, which is forged by people from many different backgrounds that makes one coherent national culture. Racial and ethnic pride appears to be a continuation of one of the worst aspects of American history, which is that of slavery. It assumes that one race is different in any way from another. By tailoring education to skin color and or national origins, it's contrary to our nation's founding ideals of democracy, equality, and opportunity. These racial and ethnic lines in schools encourage resentment and alienation rather than mutual respect. Assimilation has its own pros and cons. With assimilation, we know that informed citizens must speak, read, and write the common language, and this is what assimilation does. It teaches history because we know that those in our democratic life, our way of life can only be sustained and upheld by those who know its history. Fundamentals such as math and science maximize the ability to succeed in the future. Unfortunately, assimilation ignores the strengths immigrants have to offer, and it presumes that American society is static, which means unchanging, and we know that this is not true. Affluence and media cynicism in our own society erodes the values that immigrants bring in, such values such as hard work that our society should respect. In order to best maintain a happy medium between these two, we must understand that schools need to honor strong and positive values that immigrants bring to America. We need to understand that they came here to share in the grand ideas that created and sustain the democratic experience in this country. and we must be able to respect them enough to help them become Americans.